She smirked. That's the part that stays with me, even now, months later. Not the words themselves, but that little condescending tilt of her lips as she took a sip of her morning latte. Bruce, honestly, she said, checking her reflection in her phone screen, if you're that insecure about me having a successful career and a work friend, feel free to leave. The door isn't locked. She didn't even look at me when she said it. She just flicked her hair back, grabbed her bag, and walked out of the apartment we'd shared for 2 years, leaving me standing there in the kitchen with a knot of pure, cold rage tightening in my stomach. She thought she was untouchable. She thought I was just some permanent fixture in her life, a safety net she could disrespect because, hey, where was I going to go? We had a lease, we had a cat, we had plans for the summer. She assumed I was bluffing about my discomfort regarding Julian, her new mentor at the firm. But that smirk, that dismissal, it flipped a switch in my brain I didn't even know I had. It wasn't sadness, it wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. Absolute crystal clear clarity. She wanted me to leave if I wasn't happy. Fine. I decided right then and there, staring at the half-empty mug she left on the counter, that I was going to give her exactly what she asked for. But I wasn't just going to leave, I was going to vanish. And I wasn't going to do it today. No, that would be too messy, too emotional. I was going to take a week, a full week to dismantle our life together, right under her nose while she was too busy flirting with Julian to notice. To understand why that moment shattered everything, you have to understand what the last 3 years looked like. We were good. We were solid. Natalie and I met at a friend's barbecue, and it was easy. That's what I loved about us. It was just easy. We moved in together after a year, split the bills, binge-watched terrible reality shows, and talked about maybe buying a house upstate in 5 years. I was a graphic designer. She was in marketing. We made decent money. We were a team, or so I thought. About 4 months ago, Natalie got transferred to a new division handling high-profile tech clients. Big money, big stress. I was supportive. I cooked dinner when she worked late. I listened to her vent about the pressure. Then Julian showed up. Julian was the senior account manager. He's brilliant, Bruce, she'd say over dinner, her eyes lighting up in a way they hadn't for me in a long time. He knows everyone in the city. At first, it was just professional admiration. I get that. You need mentors. But then the boundaries started getting blurry. It started with texts at 10 p.m. Just work crises, she'd say, typing back rapidly, smiling at the screen. Who smiles at a work crisis? Then it was the team drinks that seemed to happen 3 times a week. She'd come home smelling like expensive gin and someone else's cologne, that distinct musky cedarwood scent that definitely wasn't mine. I tried to be the cool boyfriend. I told myself I wasn't going to be that possessive guy who freaks out over a male coworker. Trust is key, right? That's what everyone says. But trust runs out when you see your girlfriend tagged in an Instagram story at a club on a Tuesday night, dancing so close to a guy in a suit that they might as well be fused together with the caption, "Work hard, play hard." I brought it up the first time casually. "Hey Nat, you and Julian seem pretty close lately." She brushed it off. "He's just friendly, Bruce. Don't be weird." The second time, I was a bit more serious. It was 2 a.m. and her phone lit up on the nightstand with a message. Tonight was wild. You're trouble. I woke her up. I asked her what the hell that was. She groaned, rolled over, and said, "He's drunk. It means nothing. Go to sleep." But I didn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathing, feeling like an intruder in my own relationship. The breaking point was the company gala last Friday. I wasn't invited, employees only, she claimed, though I saw on Facebook that other partners were there. She came home at 3 a.m., stumbling, her lipstick smudged, not gone, just messy, like she'd tried to fix it in a mirror without good lighting. She was buzzing, giddy. She went straight to the shower, and while she was in there, her phone, which she usually guards with her life, sat on the bathroom counter. I didn't want to look. I really didn't. But the notification preview popped up. "Julian, can't believe we finally did that. You're amazing." My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. I waited for her to come out. I sat on the edge of the bed, the phone between us. When she walked out, towel drying her hair, I asked her. I didn't yell. I just asked, "Did you cheat on me tonight?" She froze for a second, just a microsecond, before the mask slipped back on. "You are crazy," she scoffed. "We closed a huge deal. We celebrated. You're being paranoid, and it's exhausting." We fought for an hour. She gaslighted me into oblivion, turning every question around until I was apologizing for not trusting her. I went to bed feeling like garbage. That led to the kitchen scene this morning. I tried one last time to set a boundary. I said, Nat, I love you, but the texting, the late nights, the work dinners, it's disrespectful to us. I need it to stop, or at least scale back. That's when she gave me the smirk. That's when she delivered the line that killed us. If you're not happy, feel free to leave. So the plan began. I didn't pack a single bag that day. I went to work, sat at my desk, and opened a spreadsheet. I called it Project Exit. I had paid the security deposit on our place, and most of the furniture was mine from my old bachelor pad. Her name was on the utilities, but my card was on auto pay. We had a joint savings account for the future house, which had about 20 grand in it, 12 of which was my direct contribution. Step 1, the money. I didn't drain the account immediately. That sends a notification. I waited until Tuesday, 3 days later. I went to the bank in person on my lunch break. I spoke to a teller, transferred exactly my share down to the cent back to my personal account, and removed my name from the joint hold. I also canceled the auto pay on the electric, internet, and gas bills. They wouldn't cut off immediately, but next month, she'd be in for a surprise. Step 2. The apartment. I got lucky. A buddy of mine, Mark, had a rental property that had just opened up. It was small, a studio really, but it was available immediately. I signed the lease on Wednesday. I paid 3 months up front just to be secure. Step 3, the stuff. This was the hardest part. I couldn't just start boxing things up while she was there. Natalie was home less and less, claiming crunch time on a project, which actually worked in my favor. Every evening she was out with Julian, I was packing. I started with the things she wouldn't notice. Winter clothes from the back of the closet, my collection of vintage vinyl records, the expensive kitchen knives I bought, my tools. I packed them into my car, trunk and back seat, and drove them to the new place in the middle of the night. I'd leave at 1 a.m., drop a load off, and be back by 2 a.m., sleeping in bed next to her like nothing happened. It was surreal, sleeping next to someone who was actively betraying you. She was so cold now. She barely spoke to me. She was constantly on her phone, smiling that secret smile. Thursday night, she didn't even come home until dawn. She claimed she crashed at a girlfriend's place. I didn't ask, and I didn't care. I was already gone in my head. By Friday, the apartment was looking weirdly empty, but she was too self-absorbed to notice. The bookshelves were bare, but she never read my books anyway. The gaming console was gone from the media center, but she hated video games. I left the big furniture, the couch, the bed, for the final day. Saturday was D-Day. She told me she was going to a spa weekend with the girls. I knew for a fact the girls were all at a bachelorette party in Miami because I saw their posts. She was going away with Julian. She packed a bag, kissed me on the cheek, a dry, meaningless peck, and said, "Don't wait up. I'll be back Sunday night. Try not to sulk, okay?" "Have fun," I said. And I meant it. Because the second her Uber pulled away, I called Mark and 2 other friends. It's go time. We stripped that apartment. And I mean, we stripped it. The couch I bought, gone. The TV, gone. The bed frame and mattress, gone. The dining table, gone. I left her stuff, her clothes, her vanity, her weird collection of porcelain cats, her cheap IKEA desk. But everything that made that place a home was mine. I even took the shower curtain because, yes, I bought that too. I took the router, my account. I took the smart bulbs. By 4 p.m., the apartment echoed. It was a shell. I did one last sweep. I found a photo of us from 2 years ago under the fridge magnet. We looked so happy. I threw it in the trash. I left my key on the kitchen counter, the only thing remaining in the room besides a singular lonely chair that belonged to her. I didn't leave a note. Notes are for people who want a dialogue. I didn't want a dialogue. I wanted silence. I drove to my new studio, unpacked the essentials, ordered a pizza, and blocked her number. I blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. I blocked her friends. I blocked Julian. Then I turned off my phone and played video games until 3 a.m. I felt light, weightless. Sunday night came. I turned my phone on just to see the fireworks. I didn't unblock her, but I checked my blocked messages folder. My carrier allows that. 7:45 p.m. Where are you? Why is the apartment empty? 7:48 p.m. Bruce, is this a joke? Where is the TV? Where is the bed? 8 more p.m. Pick up the phone. You can't just take everything. 8:15 p.m. I'm going to call the police. She couldn't. Legally, it was all mine, and I had receipts. 9:30 p.m. You are psychotic. This is insane. Call me right now. 11 p.m. Babe, please, I'm scared. I'm alone here, and I don't have anywhere to sleep. Please. The shift from anger to fear was rapid. I felt a twinge of guilt, just a twinge, like a muscle spasm. But then I remembered the smirk. If you're not happy, leave. I just followed instructions. Monday morning, I went to work. I knew she might show up, so I informed security that my ex-girlfriend might try to enter, and she was not welcome. Sure enough, around 11 a.m., I got a call from the front desk. Natalie was downstairs, crying, demanding to see me. They sent her away. For a week, I was a ghost. I went to work, went to the gym, went home. I didn't respond to the emails she sent from new accounts. I didn't answer the calls from unknown numbers. Then, the truth started to trickle in through the grapevine. Mutual friends, the ones who actually liked me, filled me in. Apparently, the spa weekend was indeed with Julian. But here's the kicker. Julian wasn't looking for a girlfriend. Julian was looking for a good time. When Natalie came home to an empty apartment and started freaking out, calling him for support, crying about how I left her, Julian got the ick. He didn't want drama. He didn't want a woman who was suddenly homeless and baggage heavy. He wanted the fun, flirty colleague, not the sobbing mess with no bed. He dumped her. 2 days after I left, told her it was too intense and he needed space. So, there she was, no boyfriend, no work husband, no furniture, and, as she soon discovered, big financial problems. She couldn't afford that apartment on her own. The rent was steep, and without my half, she was drowning. She tried to find a roommate, but who wants to move in with a woman in the middle of a breakdown? 3 weeks post-breakup, I was at a grocery store, picking up steaks for dinner, when I ran into her sister, Qley. Qley had always been cool. She looked at me with this sad, awkward expression. "Bruce," she said. "Hey, Qley. She's a mess, you know," Qley said quietly. "She's moving back in with our parents this weekend. She had to break the lease, lost her deposit." "I'm sorry to hear that," I said, keeping my voice steady. "She cries every day," Qley added, searching my face for a reaction. "She knows she messed up. She told me what she said to you, about leaving." I nodded. "She gave me a choice. I made one." Qley sighed. "She thought you'd fight for her. She thought... I don't know. She thought she had all the power." "She did," I said, "until she didn't." I walked away. I didn't offer help. I didn't send a message. A month later, I got a letter in the mail. Handwriting on the envelope was shaky. It was from Natalie. I debated burning it, but curiosity is a curse. I opened it. It was 4 pages of chaotic rambling, apologies mixed with accusations. I didn't mean it literally. I was just stressed. Julian meant nothing. He was a mistake. I miss our life. I miss the cat. I took the cat, obviously. Can we just get coffee? I read it standing over my kitchen trash can. The part that stood out was, I didn't realize how much you did until you were gone. The bills, the cleaning, the emotional support. I feel like I've lost my right arm. She wasn't missing me. She was missing the convenience of me. She was missing the safety net. She gambled on the exciting new guy and lost the house, the stability, and the man who actually loved her. I threw the letter in the trash. No reply. 6 months have passed since then. The silence was the best thing I ever gave myself. I didn't just survive, I thrived. Without the constant anxiety of who is she texting, my skin cleared up. I slept better. I saved money. I started dating again recently, a woman named Sarah who is an architect. On our second date, her phone buzzed. She looked at it, frowned, silenced it, and put it face down. "Sorry," she said. "Work email. It can wait. I'm here with you." It was such a small thing, but it almost made me tear up. Basic respect. It's amazing how starving you can be for it until you finally get a taste. As for Natalie, I heard she quit the firm, couldn't handle seeing Julian every day after he started dating the receptionist. She's working at a smaller agency now, living in her childhood bedroom in New Jersey, commuting 2 hours each way. I saw her once, from a distance, about a week ago. I was walking out of a coffee shop with Sarah, laughing at something she said. Natalie was across the street, waiting for the bus. She looked tired, older. She wasn't wearing the power suits she used to love. She was in jeans and a bulky coat, looking at her phone with a frown. She looked up and saw me. I saw the recognition hit her like a physical blow. Her mouth opened slightly. She took a step forward, like she was going to shout my name. I didn't look away. I didn't scowl. I just looked at her, neutral, like she was a stranger I used to know. Then I turned to Sarah, put my hand on the small of her back, and guided her down the street. I didn't look back. The thing about telling someone, feel free to leave, is that it's the ultimate gamble. You're betting that their fear of losing you is greater than their self-respect. Natalie went all in on that bet. She put 3 years of history, loyalty, and love on the table, thinking she held all the aces. She thought I was too weak to walk away. She forgot that even the most patient dog bites if you kick it enough times. Or, in my case, the dog doesn't bite. The dog just runs away to a better house with better food and leaves you alone in the cold. I'm happy now. Truly happy. And the sweetest part? I didn't have to scream or fight or slash tires. I just did exactly what she told me to do. I left.